Lefty yourself, what is it making you think about your next vote? Because you have a voice. Your show, people listen to what you have to say, and you're very passionate, and you break things down, and you're a true believer. You come across as a guy that's like, listen, I'm a regular guy that just got a lot of opinions,
right,
and here's what I'm going through. What do you think? What are you grappling with yourself as for your vote in 2024?
Well, I thought I was going to support Cornel West, but I'm not going to support. I can't see that happening now. He's in bed with the same establishment people. He's got Peter Dow, who's a cancer on the left, in charge of his campaign, which is why he's flailing. And he just left the Green Party, so he's not going to get ballot access. So he's not really running for president. And that was clear to me when he came on my show. He didn't ask for my vote. He didn't ask for the votes of the people who watch my show. In fact, he looked like he just came on to pick a fight with me. And he can't stop saying that Joe Biden is the lesser of two evil with Donald Trump. So if you say that, you're undermining your own campaign, which led me to believe he's not really running. So I am looking forward to Bobby Kennedy declaring his independent run, because a lot of the stuff he says is really important to me, like his stance on COVID, lockdowns, authoritarianism, and free speech. And, he says if you don't have free speech, you don't have democracy. And that's true. This idea that voting for Democrats, though democracy's on the ballot, democracy hasn't been on the ballot since 1980, okay? Your government was taken from you by corporations decades ago, and when are people going to get pissed off about that? The guys on January 6th weren't overthrowing the government. They were just protesting an election, just like the other half of the country protested for 4 years and said another country stole our election. They were saying it was stolen by people, and they say, they were trying to that's Cornel West came on my show, and he said, they were trying to overthrow the government and upset the peaceful transfer of power. Really, a bunch of Second Amendment gun nuts wanted to go overthrow the government, and they forgot their guns. Isn't that weird? I thought I'd written it down: mittens, water. I forgot the guns.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a story that is flying under the radar, but it's still a major story, because RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has officially announced that he is going to run for president as an independent in a third party. Now, this comes as RFK was struggling to gain traction in the Democrat primary because it is rigged against him. Okay, the DNC decided not to have any debates. They're not having a real primary. So therefore, RFK said, you know what? My best chance of winning probably is to run as an independent.
This country is ready for a history-making change. They are ready to reclaim their freedom, their independence. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here to declare myself an independent candidate. I'm here to join you in making a new Declaration of Independence for our entire nation. We declare independence from the corporations that have hijacked our government. And we declare independence from the Wall Street, from big tech, from big pharma, from big ag, from the military contractors and their lobbyists. And we declare independence from the mercenary media that is here to fortify all of the corporate orthodoxies from their advertisers and to urge us to hate our neighbors and to fear our friends.
Facts. I agree with RFK, right? I agree with RFK in the sense that the mercenary media is out here trying to carry water for the establishment. And you know that because you already have headlines like this that have the mainstream liberal media coping with reality that RFK Jr. probably is going to hurt Biden more than Trump in the general election. As you can see here, this is a headline from CNN. RFK is polling high for an independent, but it may not last, right? And I'm going to tell you guys why they're saying this, okay? We're going to talk about all of this because ultimately in the day, I think that this makes Trump stronger. I mean, Trump seems to be getting stronger as he ages, to be quite honest with you, which is exactly the opposite of what is happening with Biden. And I'm here to tell you guys that you can also get stronger as you age. And that is why the sponsor of this video is BioTrust. Did you know that you can begin to lose muscle as early as the age of 30? Now, me personally, I'm coming up on my 30s, not quite there yet, but I'm coming up on it. So I am very aware of this reality. Then at 40, research shockingly suggests that you can begin to lose up to 10% of your muscle mass every decade. And if nothing is done to prevent this muscle loss, it can lead to loss of strength, weight gain, decreased energy, and much, much more. The good news is that no matter what age you're at, you can begin to take steps to stop this and even to put it in reverse. That's why hundreds of thousands are taking action today to reverse their muscle loss with this amazing new product by BioTrust, Ageless Muscle. It combines 4 science-backed ingredients to combat age-related muscle and strength loss. Together, this premium blend of my HMB, betaine, creatine, and vitamin D3 offer powerful support to build and preserve muscle mass, promote muscular endurance, improve athletic performance, promote muscle hydration, help reduce soreness, and promote post-exercise recovery. Most importantly, you'll save 41% for this month only. Plus, for a limited time, you'll receive free gifts, including free shipping, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, and a free new ebook titled 9 Most Important Ingredients to Hold On To as You Continue to Age. All at no extra cost to you. Go to musclewithpatriot.com. That's musclewithpatriot.com. Or click the link below in the description to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime deal before it sells out. Yeah, so when it comes to whether or not RFK Jr.'s independent run is going to hurt Biden more than Trump, I did a whole video about this when RFK first kind of announced that he was going to run as an independent, in which I theorized that RFK would hurt Biden more than Trump. Now, I'm going to talk more about that because we do have some early polls. Again, it's still early. That do suggest that my theory was right, that if a general election was held, RFK is probably going to hurt Biden more than Trump. At least that's what the initial polls are showing. Take a look.
All right, welcome back to The Hill. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. looking to throw a wrench potentially into the 2024 presidential election. He is expected to announce early next week that he'll be running as an independent. New polling suggests that this could spell trouble for both President Biden and former Trump. The new survey shows the two frontrunners at just over 30%, with RFK Jr. sitting at 14%. Elizabeth Vargas, come on in, joining us now to discuss. Hey there, Elizabeth. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, we made it on a crazy week. What do you make of that? I mean, 14%, you know, the pack for RFK Jr. was saying they were at 17, 19, and we were like, yeah, but that's the pack. This is a legitimate Reuters poll having him at 14.
Yeah, he's definitely appealing to a core group of voters. The question is where does he pull those voters from? It's interesting. I talked to a Republican strategist who said that he was up in New Hampshire, and I was asking him which of the Republican candidates might have a chance of coming close, at least, to former President Trump. And he said, actually, the most signs I saw in New Hampshire were for Bobby Kennedy. So it says something. He has an appeal. And a lot of people who are Trump supporters find Bobby Kennedy very appealing. We, in fact, know that a lot of Trump backers have been also backing Kennedy, perhaps as a spoiler. So maybe his decision to jump in as an independent will change things up. I don't know. It's interesting. I asked him, Blake, in the town hall that we had here on News Nation with him, that question of whether or not he would ever run as an independent. He said, absolutely not. I'm a Democrat. I was born a Democrat. We're a family of Democrats. He was very passionate about it, and he's now changing his tune.
You know, you mentioned that there's the thinking that maybe he actually does draw more from Republicans, in this case, potentially Donald Trump, than Democrats. We know his stance on vaccines, right?
Yes.
There was an interesting poll about COVID.
And
about
lots of
whether you were likely
conspiracies,
to
by the way. There's lots of conspiracies.
Yeah. As we know. And so look at this poll, Elizabeth. Are you likely to receive an updated vaccine? This goes straight down party lines, basically. About 7 in 10 Democrats say yes. About 1 in 4 Republicans say no, and half the independents flip a coin for independents. So does it go to the point, one of the things that he's known for, it lines up with maybe him drawing some support away from whoever the Republican nominee will be.
Hey, listen, the fact of the matter is the COVID, the reaction and response governmentally, societally to COVID is something we are still seeing play out, still unfolding. I know that there's a big study and a big report about to come out about the impact it had on children. It is in the Democratic states who stayed closed longer have children who are further behind academically. It was not. It was a mistake, in other words, according to this upcoming report, to close these schools and keep them closed as long as we did. There is plenty to adjudicate and litigate about our COVID response. But, President Trump has said those vaccines, that was me. That was my administration. Right. And he's right. He is the person. He is the person who funded and pushed for the development of these vaccines, which are widely seen worldwide as being effective, much more effective than the ones in China and the ones in Russia. So, but it's so interesting when it comes to getting those booster shots. Democrats really buy into it. Party. Republicans don't.
Yeah, so I know that News Nation kind of framed their coverage of that poll in a way to make it suggest that the poll is showing that RFK would hurt Trump more than Biden. However, what the poll actually says is that when you match up an unnamed third-party candidate against Biden and Trump, Biden comes in with 43% to Trump's 42%. That's a 1-point lead for Biden. Now, this is within the margin of error, so it's effectively still kind of tied, right? But when you throw RFK in the matchup, okay, it's not a generic third-party candidate. It is actually RFK's name. Trump wins, okay? Trump actually beats Biden, okay, by 2 points. Again, within the margin of error. So still effectively tied, but again, that it does show when you throw RFK's name in there, Trump gets a boost, right? Which, in my opinion, suggests that RFK's presence could help Republicans. It could actually help Trump, which is what I theorize will happen. Now, again, this comes as there is speculation that the Trump campaign will start to come out and attack RFK. Okay, now the Democrats are silent. They have nothing to say, right? And the reason why they are not saying anything is because they really don't want to draw any attention to RFK, okay? The mainstream liberal media has blacked out RFK because the Democrat strategy here is to make sure that RFK gets no coverage and that nobody knows about him because the Kennedy name is strong in the Democrat Party, okay? There's a strong affinity for the Kennedy name. They know that. So they're essentially trying to blackball this man from any media coverage so that he does not take away any votes from Biden. I'm telling you, he is much more of a threat to take away votes away from Democrats than from Trump supporters. Now, why do I say Trump supporters and not necessarily Republicans? Well, the reason why is because I think that with RFK in the race, it essentially guarantees that there is no Republican that can actually win except Trump. And the reason why is because if Trump is not the GOP candidate, which the only way that doesn't happen is if Trump is removed by deep state, okay, he's taken off the ballot or something like that, there is no other GOP candidate that would court MAGA voters the way that RFK would, okay, because I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. The establishment, traditional neocon, conservative wing of the Republican Party is not well liked in the country, okay? Even among MAGA, they ain't that liked, okay? So when you talk about a Biden versus RFK and a DeSantis, I think that RFK definitely will hurt Republicans more than he will hurt Democrats in a situation where Trump's not in the race. But I think with Trump being in the race, I think that dynamic changes because Trump has a much stronger base of supporters who are not going to leave him. And I think that once Trump starts attacking RFK, which probably will happen, I think that will solidify Trump's support. And I just don't see Trump voters leaving Trump for RFK, okay? But I do see a lot of disaffected Democrats, progressives, like, for example, the Jimmy Dores of the world, okay, the Breonna Joy Grays, basically voting third party, right? Saying, look, I'm not going along with vote blue no matter who. That is a huge conversation, argument going on the progressive left. the people who are dissatisfied with Biden and his lack of being as progressive as they want him to be, which again, in my opinion, is insane, right? Asinine to want Biden to be more progressive, but that is an actual real thing. And there's nothing that is really inspiring people to come out and vote for Biden. I think that the turnout for people to come out and vote for Biden is going to be low, okay? There's no motivation to vote for the guy considering the state of the economy, the state of the border, America, and how we've done on the world stage, crime. The Democrats, Biden, they have nothing positive going for them. Biden does not have a strong base. Not to mention, RFK actually gives somebody that the never Trumpers can vote for besides Biden, okay? So, again, you have a situation where never Trumpers, they're not going to vote for Trump. And if RFK is not in the race, then the only person they can vote for would be Biden. Those votes might go to Biden if, they choose not to sit out. But now with RFK in the race, they can vote for RFK, which is bad for Biden, right? I think that, again, never Trumpers are going to vote for RFK before they vote for Biden, which is basically a win for Trump. I really think that in 2020, Biden benefited from the fact that at least 20 to 30% of this country has a severe form of Trump derangement syndrome in the pandemic, okay? And also big tech and a variety of other things, I think, swayed the election in Biden's favor. I don't think he's going to have those advantages next year, okay? I know some people speculate that Democrats are going to, have some type of pandemic scare or something like that, and that could be the case. Who knows? Again, all this stuff is really hard to predict. I mean, Trump could get taken out of the race somehow, some way. I think a lot of GOP candidates are running simply because they are betting that will happen, right? I believe that they think that that's going to happen. But, again, assuming that is Trump, RFK, Biden, I just don't see a scenario where this doesn't hurt Biden more than it hurts Trump. I really do believe that it really comes down to who has a stronger base. And I think objectively speaking, Biden doesn't have a base, okay? His base, his campaign strategy in 2020 was Orange Man bad, Orange Man responsible for every COVID death in this country. I think that, again, he's not going to have that advantage, right? I mean, if you listen to Democrats talk, they didn't really like Biden. They just hated Trump. Again, I don't see too many Biden-Harris paraphernalia out in public, right? In fact, I haven't seen a Biden-Harris sign in forever, okay? But then again, I live in the South. So, I mean, it's not going to be all that common in the first place, but I'm just saying, I don't see anybody that is an open Biden supporter, okay? Nobody's openly supporting Biden. He doesn't have a strong base, and as long as the economy remains the way it is, look at what's happening on the world stage now where, we're essentially about to go back into war, so it seems, possibly. I just think that a lot of this plays into Trump's favor. And I just think that the American people are just going to be like, you know what, we just got to get Biden up out of there, right? We can't have a guy who is an empty suit in office when we're essentially about to go to war, so it seems, okay? We're facing the situation that we're facing. The economy is terrible. The borders are open. Crime is out of control. Like, the country is, again, going to hell in a handbasket. Again, it's so bad that even Democrats, liberals in these liberal cities are ringing the alarm. They're like, yo, this is crazy. This is insane, right? So again, if things remain the way it is, I just don't see a scenario where, again, you have RFK in a race where this doesn't significantly hurt Biden. I mean, I think a lot of Democrats are going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to vote for RFK. And that's not to say he won't take away any votes from Trump. Obviously, I think he'll take away some votes. It's just about the proportionality and where, right? Which part of the country? Like, for example, I could see it definitely hurting Trump in a state like Massachusetts, where, RFK probably has, a good appeal with Republicans, okay? And, he has some appeal with Democrats as well, too, though. That's the thing in a state like Massachusetts. I can see him having appeal on both sides. So I'm just saying, like, we really don't know how it's going to play out at the state level. It's impossible to say. It's going to be fascinating to get more data to see exactly how, this plays out. But with RFK polling at 14%, again, this is an early poll. This is one of the only ones we have. With him polling at 14% compared to Trump and Biden polling in the 30s in a tight race, again, this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. And the fact that this wasn't covered by the mainstream liberal media, it was basically, ignored. But I guess, with the Israel-Hamas thing going on, I guess you can kind of understand why. But even if that wasn't going on, they still wouldn't be covering it, right? They still wouldn't be covering it. So I'm just saying, I personally still believe that this is going to hurt Biden more than Trump. We're going to pay attention to the polls. Every poll now, with RFK now officially being an independent, is going to be much more fascinating. In the 2024 race, again, just got extremely, extremely, extremely more interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.